My brother thought 2 minutes underwater was funny. I spent 2 years unconscious and lost everything. Now, I'm coming for revenge. The neurologist's words felt like they were coming from underwater, distorted and impossible to process fully. Severe hypoxic brain injury, she explained, using terms that sounded clinical and cold. 2 years and 3 months you've been unconscious. Your family has been waiting a very long time for this moment. But I couldn't focus on her words because my body felt wrong, alien, like I was operating a machine I'd never learned to control. My fingers wouldn't grip the bedsheet properly. My legs lay motionless under the thin hospital blanket, refusing commands my brain sent with increasing desperation. When I tried to ask what happened, the sounds that came from my throat were garbled and nonsensical. My tongue thick and uncooperative in my mouth that tasted like metal and chemicals. My mother sat beside the bed looking a decade older than my last clear memory, her hair completely gray now, and her face carved with lines of exhaustion and grief. She held my hand while crying, squeezing my fingers like she was afraid I'd disappear again if she let go. My father stood by the window with his back to us, his shoulders shaking in a way that suggested he was crying too, but didn't want me to see. Neither of them looked like the parents I remembered from the pool party. That had been in July, 4th of July specifically, at Uncle Raymond's house with the entire extended family gathered for the annual barbecue and swim. Now my mother was saying it was October, and the year had advanced twice since that day. 730 days of my life simply erased, stolen, gone into a darkness I couldn't remember or explain. The physical therapist arrived within an hour of my waking, a man named Julius who had the build of someone who'd played college football and the gentle demeanor of someone who worked with broken people constantly. He explained in simple terms that my muscles had atrophied severely during the coma, that I'd need to relearn basic motor functions, that the process would be slow and frustrating but possible with dedication. When he tried to help me sit up, my body wouldn't cooperate. My core muscles had forgotten how to engage, my balance was completely shot, and the simple act of moving from horizontal to vertical left me dizzy and nauseous. Julius supported my weight while I fought tears of humiliation. I'd been an engineering student at MIT on a full academic scholarship before the pool party. Now I couldn't sit up without assistance like a baby. My older brother Damien visited that afternoon, and something felt immediately wrong about his presence. He came in carrying flowers and wearing an expression of relief that seemed practiced rather than genuine. When he grabbed my hand and said he'd been praying for me to wake up, his grip felt performative, too tight and too deliberate. He talked about how guilty he'd felt, how the accident had haunted him, how he'd been visiting me every week throughout the coma, but his eyes kept darting away from mine. And when I tried to ask what happened at the pool, he changed the subject quickly, said we'd talk about that later when I was stronger. My mother agreed, saying I needed to focus on recovery first. The way they exchanged glances made my stomach clench with anxiety I couldn't articulate. The cognitive assessment came the next day, a doctor named Wu administering tests that revealed the extent of my brain damage. She showed me pictures and I struggled to name simple objects. A chair took me 30 seconds to identify.